What's going on, everybody? Farley here, and tonight I want to do a video along with a really good friend of mine. If you've been watching my channel for the last year, you'll have probably seen this man on a few of my live feeds. He is none other than Wild Bill Tressler from Animosity. Say hello, Bill.
Hello, YouTube. It is I, Wild Bill Tressler from the band Animosity. Can I just say it, the real Animosity? Better yet, the old Animosity, because we're a bunch of old motherfuckers. So, yeah, the old Animosity. And I'm here with Killer Hooks and Comic Books, Farley's site, to bring you my 5 favorite instrumental songs of all time. Of all time! Okay, are you ready for this?
So, as
All
Bill
right.
mentioned, we're going to be doing our top 5 rock and metal instrumentals. It's something we had talked about doing for a while. We were going to try and do this live, but apparently you have to pay money to StreamYard to record a video instead of going live, and that's what we were going to do. And we weren't able to get a time for us to get together and record it live. So, that being said, we're going to get into our top 5 instrumentals. It's going to go back and forth between me and Bill. So let's start out with my number 5, and I'm going to include some of the tunes in here. So if you haven't heard some of these songs, you'll get an idea what they sound like. So here we go with my number 5. Coming in at number 5 is one of my favorite bands that kind of came out in the late 80s that were a blend of different genres. They weren't just metal. You know, you had like, bands that were incorporating funk and jazz and all these different elements in the metal. And it was just a great time to be a metal fan, And one of those bands was Faith No More. So the album that this song comes off of is The Real Thing from 1989. I love this album. Every song on here, I love it, man. And the instrumental, of course, that I'm talking about is Woodpecker from Mars. Crazy song, man. It's just so good. There's lots of funk in it, but then you've got these the keyboard playing these almost gypsy-like melody lines, and the drummer goes. I mean, everybody goes off in terms of the instrumentalists in this song. And I remember thinking there had to be like 2 or 3 extra people in the studio when they did this. But Roddy Bottum is just kills it by himself on the keyboards. And like I say, you've got that Jim Martin's distorted guitar, so you've got the heavy elements, and then you've got the bass doing what it does, man, and it's just killing it. Slap bass in here. Just like so, metal, funk. It's a fusion of a gypsy. So many different musical styles. It's just freaking fantastic. So coming in at number 5 is Woodpecker from Mars. All right, let's see what Bill's got.
Well, showing my fucking age with this first one. At number 5, I've put the song Frankenstein. Frankenstein by the Edgar Winters Band. It came out in 1972. In 1972, that was like just when the hippie era people were getting to the point of where they were waking up hungover as fuck from their fun time. Then Edgar Winters came out with Frankenstein, just stomped through their asses. Great song, cool, but it wasn't until 1991 when Overkill got a hold of it, and they covered it on their album Horoscope. And I'd been saying the whole time, man, this song, can we cover this song? Someone needs to play this song for a cover. Someone needs to do this song. Fucking, they finally did. Overkill finally did it. They metalized it, gave it a little balls, shaved a few seconds off of it. Made a good, so Edgar Winters with Frankenstein gets the goal, but Overkill gets the assist totally.
All right, guys and gas. Coming in at number 4 for me is going to be a song from one of the pioneers of the Florida death metal sound, uh, the kings of the slow, grindy death metal with the time changes, where it kicks in and just because of this band, there are so many bands that are out there now, and not only from Florida but throughout the globe that owe a lot to Obituary. This is the 2005, I believe, album, Frozen in Time. Not their best album, I grant you that. But the first track, the instrumental, it let everybody know, hey, we've been around for a while. You know, we're kind of like the OGs of the death metal sound, but we can still put out fresh death metal, man. And Redneck Stomp, holy cow. I remember the first time I heard Redneck Stomp, I was like, because I didn't hear it for a long time, because by the time this came out, I'd kind of drifted away from metal and all that, and then started getting back to it after it came out. So I never really had heard Redneck Stomp, and then I heard it, and first I was like, oh man, like the vocals to this are going to be so badass, because the guitar riffs are just so crunchy and meaty, you know? And then by the time it was over, I was like, that didn't need vocals. I mean, that thing was so heavy and just so killer, man, without John Tardy over, and I love him, but damn, that song, man, it's a song that it sounds good on vinyl or CD or whatever, but you got to hear it live. I saw Obituary play live twice. First time they didn't play it, the second time they did. And let me tell you, the biggest reaction from the audience was for Redneck Stomp. So, yeah, Redneck Stomp from the album Frozen in Time, Obituary.
Number 4, I have put Cracker Jack by the band Clutch. It's off their 1998 release, which was Elephant Riders. Just a great album all the way around. Cracker Jack is really, really put on the list because, well, it has a really cool groove to it, but they've incorporated a tromboner into the whole metal instrumental type thing. I never thought a tromboner would fit into metal. Totally did. They got a dude named Delfeo Marcels. I totally butchered that name, but Cracker Jack, it's just like a dry hump towards the sky at medium speed all the way through, and the tromboner just brings it home, man. That's why it is number 4.
All right, so we're already up to number 3. This is going quick. Coming in number 3 for me is going to be, all right, it's going to be from Megadeth. But let me explain. This is the first album I owned of Megadeth, but my introduction to Megadeth was the video for Peace Sells. But I did not buy that. I remember hearing it, 86, 87 on MTV, and then just kind of, I never picked it up. And then when I got Injustice for All, and I really was like, oh, okay, I'm going to start buying thrash now. This is one of the first albums I got. I probably bought this after, it's probably like third or fourth album I bought after Injustice for All. It's kind of weird, because I was like Injustice for All, and then Coroner, and then Anthrax, Among the Living, and then this. Those are like the first 4, and this was cassette. So the first 4 cassettes I bought, and this was number 4. So I did hear Peace Sells, but I didn't buy that album at first. The first Megadeth album I picked up, So Far So Good So What, so underrated, man. For years it's been compared to Injustice for All. It's not fair. Injustice for All is this prog metal freaking Goliath, and you could fit this whole album in one side of Injustice for All, and that's okay, man. I really dig it. I even like Anarchy in the UK off this album. But the instrumental I'm talking about is Into the Lungs of Hell. I don't know if you can see that. Another track 1 instrumental, like Obituary. So, if you listen to early Megadeth, and it's kind of weird. Like Peace Sells to me was a little bit slower, of course, than their debut. But then this album came along and it was like it was aggressive again. Not that Peace Sells wasn't aggressive, but I don't think it was an aggressive thrash album like their debut or this album. And I love Peace Sells. But the more you read about them, it's just like their drug use really like started hitting like even harder this album, like when they were recording it. And it's like you can tell, that when you listen to this, because the whole album is just frenetic, crazy, but great songs, man. But I don't know how to describe it. It just seems like everything had to be fast and very aggressive on this album. And so, Into the Lungs of Hell was, man, when I heard that, and I didn't play guitar or anything back then, when I picked these up, I had no idea. But I knew listening to those guitars in this that I had to buy more Megadeth. And I think I ended up getting Peace Sells next. Great album. But for some reason, man, and a lot of people picked two of their other albums, Peace Sells or Rust in Peace is their best album. I say Rust in Peace, but I actually like this album better than Peace Sells. And that's not knocking Peace Sells. Great album, but man, I've always really liked this album. 502 is the only song that I don't hate it, but it's the only song that I don't think is great. Everything else, dude, I think it's great. Hook and Mouth, fantastic. In My Darkest Hour, damn, just a great album, and one that kind of slips through the cracks when people talk about Megadeth and their best albums and things. But yeah, I think it's number 2. Call me crazy. All right, I'll be back.
Now, smack dab in the middle at number 3, we have to go with the hometown hardcore heroes, Expatriate, and their 1987 release, their instrumental Butthead off of No Sleep Till Chugwater, their 7-inch. Expatriate, they were like, when I was just a little baby metalhead, Expatriate were one of my favorite bands. The song Butthead, what a great title for an instrumental anyways, but the fucking song is like a minute 18, a minute 18 seconds. And, it is the most fun you could have in a minute and 18 seconds other than making sweet, sweet love with me. Oh, yeah, baby. So I'm giving it up for Expatriate and the song Butthead. Yes.
All right, coming in at number 2 for me. It's from an album that I didn't know existed until last year? Yeah. And because one of the members of the metal community, he shows CDs mostly, but I guess you consider part of the vinyl community. He's got records, he's got cassettes, he's got everything. But Mark C with the G, if you hear noises, it's my cat going absolutely nuts. So ignore it. But so he joined, and he was showing albums, and then slowly over time, you're like, oh God, he was in a band. Like they released an album officially, not like a demo or anything. And this thing got put out, but it was kind of when I was out of the metal scene. This is when I was in college. I wasn't listening to much metal, man. I was more into punk and alternative, and the Pogues were huge for me at this time. So I went and checked them out because they re-released their album, Dance the Marble Naked. And I'm not just picking this because Mark's an awesome dude. I think Mark G with a C. Yeah, I think that's right. Or Mark C with a G. One of those. Anyway, Mark Gibson. He was the guitar player I don't know if you could see his picture, but uh, probably not. But anyway, that's him right there. Let me go that way. Right there. There we go. That guy with the white face there. He's not so pasty these days. He's actually got a little sunlight on his face now. Fantastic dude, man. Great guitarist. And so I got it, I was like, well, I've never heard this band. So let me check them out. So I went and bought it. And, dude, this is so different than anything I'd ever heard. It's death and doom. I guess they call them, UK doom death metal from 1994. This hype sticker says it combines mid-period Paradise Lost and My Dying Bride. I don't know about My Dying Bride. I don't know how they got that. But Paradise Lost, really, really slow tempo generally. So I don't know. I don't know about that. But it's freaking fantastic, man. And so, I'm driving, I'm listening to it, and their last song is called Meadows, and it's instrumental. And oh my gosh, I remember I was driving. I don't know. I was going it's a pretty long drive because I remember listening to it over and over 3 or 4 times. And I actually messaged Mark. I'm like, and asking me questions, about this song. Dude, it's fantastic. It is so, I don't even want to say sad, but melancholy, But as I'm driving and that song comes on, I'm listening to it. Next thing I know, man, I'm thinking about like all kinds of stuff. For some reason, that song evokes memories and things, especially from like the late '80s and stuff when I was into metal and things. But a lot of things that you kind of went through. If you were in a small town and liked metal back in the '80s, it was not pleasant to be that, at least in a southern small Baptist town. Say that. But dude, all these memories just started flowing through my head, and I had to ask him. I don't remember. I think I asked him about like what key it was in or something like that. But dude, and it's not fancy. It's beautiful, but it's not technical or anything. It's just this steady rhythm. The bass in it. I don't know how to describe it, man, but every part of it works to evoke this mood. And like Meadows is the name of it, and like I think about when I listen to it, like this field, and you're just walking through it, and it's like that song stuck in with me and still sticks with me. And like I said, this whole album's fantastic. Enchantment's the band, if I didn't say that. But Dance the Marble Naked, come out in '94. It has been reissued on CD and vinyl. I wasn't able to get the vinyl; it was sold out, so I got the CD. But if I see that they get any more in, I'll get one. But check out, and Meadows is the last song on this one. I don't know. Maybe it does different things for different people, man. But for me, that song evokes a lot of emotion and a lot of memories. So thanks, Enchantment, and thanks, Mark, for putting that out. You guys rock. All right, number one's coming up. Stay tuned.
Number 2, we're getting right to the meat of the matter now. Number 2, again, in 1987. 1987 was on fire. My God. But I've got to put at the number 2 slot, Death Angels, The Ultraviolence. Just a great instrumental song. Pure fucking metal. I mean, the cool thing about Death Angel is they're absolute fantastic musicians. And the ones I've dealt with were really, really nice guys. I dealt with their singer and their guitarist, one of their lead guitarists. Really cool dudes. And, it's an epic song. It's 10 minutes, but it's a journey. All those song riffs fit just beautifully into the other riffs. So just take the journey, give it up. Ultraviolence, number 2.
So if you hadn't noticed, I'm a lot more long-winded than Bill when it comes to describing these. So I apologize. It's hard for me to talk about some of these and not get, rambling and things because of the memories of these songs. I like some of these I've been listening to since what, 86. So, and this is it. This is number one, and I'm actually probably going to talk the least about it because if you don't know this song and how awesome it is and the genius behind this song, especially the bass and guitar, but let's be honest, Cliff Burton really knew how to stand out with Metallica. Of course, I'm talking about Master of Puppets and that song, Orion. And I'll be honest with you, I could probably bump somebody out of the top 5 and put Call of Cthulhu in as well. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it like one band. But there's 2 things that I think Metallica did great. Well, 3. First, all of their music in the 80s, fantastic. Remarkable. The best I've ever heard. But even now, they're the best cover band, metal cover band that's ever existed. And they do the best instrumentals of any metal band that's ever existed, in my opinion. At least those 2 songs. To Live Is to Die, is it instrumental, is it not? It's great, but it's not as good as Cthulhu and definitely not as good as Orion. So, like I said, everybody knows Orion. If you don't, you just got to listen to it. I don't even know how to put it in words what this song is like to listen to for me. But, yeah, just put it on. Tell me what you think. If you've never heard it, play it. Let me know what you think. If you have, what emotions do you get when you listen to it? So I can tell you, it hasn't gotten old in, 30 years? Almost 30 years. Jeez, is that right? 2008? 2018? Oh, man. Never mind. Let's not talk about how long it's been. But, yeah. Orion from 86 Master of Puppets. If you don't know it, you gotta listen to it at least once and let me know. If you've heard it, again, how do you feel?
Now, we have reached our my number one favorite instrumental of all time, hands down, would have to be, wait for it, Initial Shock by the Crumbsuckers, hey! Yes, Initial Shock by the Crumbsuckers. 1998, Beast on My Back, an incredible fucking hardcore album anyways, but something about Initial Shock, it's like a hardcore interpretation of an orgasm. It's a badass all the way through it. Fantastic tune, good time changes, everything you could ever hope for. When I used to shower regularly, it was like my showering song. I would be there just, rubbing my bunghole with a chunk of soap and a pumice stone, and Initial Shock would be playing, and, try not to envision it too close, but I'm going to have to give it up one more time. My number one favorite song, instrumental of all time, Initial Shock by the Crumbsuckers, give it one! And then we're going to even get rid of oh my god, what the hell? Give it up for that! I can't even work the fucking thing. Oh my god, it just got all crazy. Woohoo! Yes, so there we go again, man. Number 5, Frankenstein. Number 4, Crackerjack. Number 3, Butthead. Number 2, The Ultraviolence. And number 1, Initial Shock by the Crumbsuckers. This has been brought to you by Bill Tressler and Farley's Killer Hooks and Comic Books. So, right on. Love you.
I appreciate Wild Bill agreeing to do this video with me. I really, really wanted him to be a part of it. He's a good friend. I really enjoy talking to him about music in general, metal. We talk about all kinds of other stuff, though. You know, aliens and history and conspiracies and everything else. So he's become a really, really good friend. And thank you for agreeing to do this. I wish we could have done it live, but we will soon. We will do more videos live soon. All right? Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching as always. And for me and Bill, man, take care. And Farley and Bill